There's this thing that happens when you're alone, really alone. Not the kind where you're scrolling through your phone pretending to be busy. I mean the kind where it's just you and the voice in your head. And that voice, it doesn't sound like a friend. It sounds like every person who ever doubted you, every failure you've tried to forget, every moment you wanted to disappear. And the worst part, you can't turn it off, because that voice, it's you. You are your own enemy. And I don't mean that in some motivational poster kind of way. I mean it in the most brutal, honest sense. The person sabotaging your life, the one tearing you down when no one else is watching, the one convincing you that you're not enough. That's not the world, that's you. Maybe you already know this, maybe you felt it. The way you talk yourself out of opportunities before you even try, the way you replay your mistakes like a broken record, rewinding to that moment you said the wrong thing, did the wrong thing, were the wrong thing. The way you punish yourself for things you'd forgive anyone else for in a heartbeat. Your friend messes up? It's okay, everyone makes mistakes. You mess up? How could you be so stupid? You should have known better. That's not strength. That's not discipline. That's self-destruction dressed up as self-awareness. It's cruelty disguised as accountability. And you've been doing it for so long you don't even see it anymore. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you heard yourself think something kind? Not about someone else, about you. When was the last time your internal dialogue wasn't criticism, doubt, or fear? I'll wait. Because here's what I know. Most of us don't even realize how cruel we are to ourselves. We'd never speak to another human being the way we speak to ourselves in our heads. You're so stupid. Why can't you just get it together? Everyone else has it figured out except you. You're going to fail anyway, so why even try? Imagine saying that to a friend. Imagine looking someone in the eye and telling them they're worthless, that they'll never amount to anything, that they should just give up now. You'd never do it. It would feel monstrous, inhuman. But you say it to yourself every single day, multiple times a day, and somehow that's acceptable. Somehow that's normal. You wouldn't say that to your worst enemy, but you say it to yourself every single day. Psychologists call this the inner critic, but that sounds too manageable, like some annoying roommate giving feedback. It's not. It's the accumulation of every harsh word, every disappointed look, every time someone made you feel like you weren't enough. And over time, you internalized it. You became the voice. The parent who said you'd never make it, the teacher who rolled their eyes when you asked questions, the kid at school who laughed when you tried something new, the ex who made you feel like you were too much or not enough. All of them live inside you now, not as memories, as dialogue. And the fucked up part? You don't even question it anymore. It's become background noise, like breathing, like your heartbeat. You assume that's just how you think, that's just who you are. But it's not. It's a learned response, a defense mechanism that once kept you safe, kept you small, kept you invisible, kept you from getting hurt. But now it's a prison, and you're the one holding the keys. Let's get real for a second. You know that thing you do where you finally start to feel good about yourself and then you sabotage it? Where things start going right and you find a way to blow it up? Maybe it's the relationship that's actually healthy for once, but you push them away because happiness feels foreign. Maybe it's the job opportunity you don't apply for because they wouldn't pick me anyway. Maybe it's the creative project you abandon the second it gets difficult because who am I kidding? I'm not talented enough. That's not bad luck. That's you. That's self-sabotage. You tell yourself you're going to change. You're going to work out, eat better, stop procrastinating, finally go after that dream. And for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, you do. You feel good, hopeful even, like maybe this time I'll stick. But then the voice comes back. Who are you kidding? You always fail. You're not disciplined enough. You don't deserve this. And just like that, you quit. You go back to the familiar, the comfortable, the version of you that hates yourself but at least knows how to survive there. This is why you stop dreaming. Because every dream comes with a voice that says, you're not good enough to achieve that. So you stop wanting things. You convince yourself you're just being realistic, practical, mature, but really, you're just protecting yourself from disappointment. This is why you stop connecting, because intimacy requires vulnerability, and vulnerability feels like handing someone a weapon. So you keep people at arm's length. You share surface-level things and call it friendship. You say, I'm fine when you're falling apart because letting someone in feels too dangerous. This is why you stop trying, because if you don't try, you can't fail. And if you can't fail, you can't prove the voice right. So you settle. You play it safe. You choose the path that doesn't challenge you. Here's the thing no one talks about. You didn't wake up one day and decide to be your own enemy. It started small. Maybe it was a parent who never praised you. Maybe it was a teacher who made you feel stupid. Maybe it was kids at school who laughed when you tried. Or maybe it was subtler than that. Maybe it was the way your parents only noticed you when you did something wrong. Maybe it was the silence when you brought home good grades, but the lectures when you brought home bad ones. Maybe it was the way love felt conditional, like you had to earn it, like you had to be perfect to be worth their time. You learned early that the world wasn't safe for the real you, so you built walls. I remember being a teenager and thinking that if I could just control everything, my grades, my appearance, my reputation, then maybe I'd finally be safe. So I became obsessed. Every mistake felt like the end of the world. Every imperfection felt like proof that I was failing. I wasn't living, I was managing anxiety, managing expectations, managing the version of me that everyone else seemed to expect. And maybe you did the same. Maybe you became the perfectionist, the overachiever, the people pleaser, the one who never asks for help because asking feels like admitting you're weak. You learned that being hard on yourself was safer than letting anyone else be hard on you first. But here's what that voice doesn't tell you. Every time you reject yourself, every time you tell yourself you're not good enough, you're doing the world's job for it. You're pre-rejecting yourself so it doesn't hurt as much when others do. Except it still hurts, because rejection from yourself is the deepest cut of all. Here's where it gets complicated, because it's not just one voice, it's 5, 10, a whole fucking committee living rent-free in your head. There's the scared one, the one that convinced you staying small is safer than taking risks, the one that sees every opportunity as a potential disaster. Don't try, you'll just embarrass yourself. There's the angry one, the one who resents everyone who ever hurt you but never lets you express it, so it turns inward. It punches walls inside your mind, it screams in a soundproof room, and because it can't hurt them, it hurts you instead. There's the perfectionist, the one that tells you if you can't do it perfectly, don't do it at all. The one that sets impossible standards and then punishes you for being human. Good isn't good enough. If it's not flawless, it's garbage. There's the cynic, the one that mocks your dreams before anyone else can. That's stupid. Who do you think you are? People like us don't get to want things like that. And then there's the exhausted one, the one that just wants to stop, to disappear, to rest. But you never let it because rest feels like giving up. Rest feels like weakness. So you keep going, running on fumes, wondering why you can't remember the last time you felt alive. These voices aren't you, they're echoes, fragments of survival strategies you built when you were too young to know better. But now they run your life. They make decisions for you. They convince you that staying stuck is better than risking failure, that loneliness is better than vulnerability, that numbness is better than pain. And here's the cruelest part. They're not trying to hurt you. They think they're protecting you. That scared voice, it's trying to keep you from getting hurt again. That angry voice, it's trying to defend you from a world that once felt unsafe. They mean well, but intention doesn't matter when the result is self-destruction. But here's the thing, and I need you to really hear this. You don't have to stay at war with yourself. I know it feels permanent. I know it feels like this is just who I am. Like you've been this way for so long that changing would mean becoming someone you don't recognize. And that's scary. Because even though this version of you is miserable, at least it's familiar. At least you know how to survive here. But you're not broken. You're not defective. You're just conditioned. And conditioning can be undone. The first step? Awareness. You have to start noticing the voice, not agreeing with it, not arguing with it, just noticing it. When it says, "You're such a failure," pause. Recognize that's the voice. That's not me. That's the echo of every time I was made to feel small. It sounds simple, but it's revolutionary. Because for years, you believed that voice was you, that those thoughts were your thoughts. But they're not. They're recordings, old tapes playing on repeat. And once you see them as separate from you, they lose some of their power. Separation is power, because once you realize the voice isn't you, you can start questioning it. Is that true? Or is that fear talking? Is that truth? Or is that trauma? And slowly, you start to reclaim your mind. The second step? Compassion. And I know that word sounds soft, weak even. But compassion is the opposite of weakness. It's choosing not to be your own abuser anymore. It's saying, I'm going to talk to myself the way I talk to someone I love. When you fuck up, instead of I'm so stupid, try I made a mistake. That's human. When you feel scared, instead of why am I like this, try of course I'm scared. This matters to me. When you look in the mirror and see flaws, instead of tearing yourself apart, try this is the body that's carried me through everything. It deserves kindness. It sounds simple, but after years of cruelty, kindness feels foreign. Your brain will resist it. It'll say, this is stupid, I don't deserve this. This is self-indulgent bullshit. And that's when you push through, because that resistance, that's just the old pattern trying to survive. Let me be clear, this isn't about positive thinking. This isn't about pretending everything's fine or gaslighting yourself into fake happiness. This isn't about affirmations in the mirror or toxic positivity. This is about truth. The truth is, you're not perfect. You've made mistakes. You've hurt people. You've failed. But so has everyone, literally everyone. That doesn't make you unworthy. It makes you human. The truth is, you're allowed to be angry, sad, lost, confused. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to perform strength when you're breaking. You don't have to be fine all the time. You're allowed to fall apart. The truth is, the voice that's been tearing you down, it's scared, it's wounded. It learned that cruelty was the only way to survive. But you're not in that environment anymore. You don't need it anymore. You can let it go. Not all at once, not perfectly. Not in some dramatic moment where everything suddenly clicks and you're healed. That's not how this works. But little by little, you can choose differently. Here's what healing looks like. It's not a breakthrough. It's not a moment where everything suddenly makes sense. It's 1,000 tiny rebellions against the voice that's controlled you for so long. It's saying, I'm proud of myself and actually meaning it, even for small things, even for just getting out of bed some days. It's letting yourself rest without guilt, without the voice screaming that you're lazy, that you're wasting time, that you should be doing more. It's trying something new even when you might fail, because you finally understand that failure isn't proof you're worthless, it's proof you're trying. It's forgiving yourself for the things you've been carrying like stones in your chest. The mistakes you made 5 years ago, the person you hurt, the opportunity you missed, the version of yourself you think you should have been by now. It's choosing, again and again, to be on your own side. Because that's what it means to stop being your own worst enemy. It means becoming your own ally, not your savior, not your fixer, not some perfect version of yourself who has it all together, just your friend. The kind of friend who shows up even when things are messy, who doesn't bail when you're struggling, who believes in you even when you don't believe in yourself. And I'm not going to lie, some days you'll fail, some days the voice will win. Some days you'll fall back into old patterns and beat yourself up for falling back into old patterns. That's not regression. That's being human. Growth isn't linear. It's messy. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But as long as you keep choosing yourself, you're moving in the right direction. You've spent your whole life thinking the world was against you, and maybe it was. Maybe people hurt you. Maybe life wasn't fair. Maybe you didn't get the love you deserved. But the cruelest enemy you've ever faced, that was you. The voice that told you you weren't enough. The voice that convinced you to stay small. The voice that turned every mistake into proof of your worthlessness. That voice isn't gone. It might never be fully gone. Some days it'll be louder than others. Some days it'll catch you off guard, hitting you with thoughts you thought you'd moved past. But it doesn't have to be in control anymore. It doesn't get to be the narrator of your life. It doesn't get to decide what you're worth. So here's my challenge. The next time that voice shows up, don't believe it. Don't fight it. Don't try to logic it away. Just notice it, and then ask yourself, what would I say to someone I loved if they were feeling this way? And then say that to yourself, because you deserve the kindness you've been giving everyone else. You deserve the forgiveness, the patience, the grace. You deserve to take up space, to want things, to fail and try again, to be imperfect and still be worthy of love. You've been at war long enough. It's time to come home. Not to perfection, not to some idealized version of yourself, not to the person you think you should be by now, but to the messy, imperfect, beautifully human version that's been waiting underneath all that armor. The one who's tired of fighting, the one who's tired of pretending, the one who just wants to exist without it being a performance or a punishment. The one who's been your own worst enemy but could finally become your own best friend. And that version of you? They've been there all along, buried under years of criticism and fear and shame. But they're still there, waiting. They're just waiting for you to stop attacking long enough to notice. And when you do, when you finally look at yourself with even a fraction of the compassion you've given others, something shifts. The war doesn't end immediately, but a ceasefire begins. And in that quiet space, healing starts to happen. Not all at once, but slowly, one kind word at a time, one forgiven mistake at a time, one day where you choose yourself instead of abandoning yourself, until one day you realize something. You're not at war anymore. You're just home. What's the voice you're most tired of hearing? Just a word, a phrase, whatever's real. Drop it below. I'll read it.